And we are live. Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Cardboard Conversations. Another wonderful Saturday night, 7 p.m. And tonight we've got a great special guest coming up, Lance of Cothern Cards. Hello, Lance. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Great to have you here. First time guest, hopefully not last time guest. I've watched a number of things over on your channel, including some of the pack battles. Bob and I recently had a great showing over there. Phenomenal time with some of that Commander Legends. Hope we get to talk about that in a little bit. A few other things that we are hoping to get into tonight, including the sad truth of Double Feature finally coming out and going exactly the way that we all thought it might. Along with that, the Unfinity delay, and maybe we'll end up talking about a few variants, things that we like and don't like seeing out of the sets coming up. And Lance, why don't you go ahead? Tell us a little bit about your channel. What are you getting in over there on Cothern Cards?
So sure, I started Cothern Cards back in late 2020. The idea was to crack a pack a day and document that, just because I was getting back into Magic, and I figured if I was going to open the product, might as well record it and share it with everybody else. Saw plenty of other people doing it. Thought I would give it a shot myself. It's evolved a lot since then. Now I have 2 YouTube shorts of pack openings a day, and I do live streams on Mondays and Thursdays, 8:30 Eastern time, where people can come and purchase packs, and I open them live and then ship the stuff out to you based on what you want shipped to you. Also been dabbling a little bit into some Commander gameplay and Arena gameplay here and there, looking to get more into that this year, but it's been a lot of fun, and glad to be here.
Hey, me too. The Arena part.
Speaking of the pack battles, Pat and I this week, I was encouraging, going over to your channel and getting involved a little bit, and we had an epic pack battle this week involving the Jeweled Lotus, where I opened the Jeweled Lotus and you kept saying through the whole time. And if you guys haven't caught that video, you must go check that out. I don't know. Have you cut that out to like a short yet, Lance? I haven't seen that.
Not yet, but I plan on doing it sometime soon if I can get to it.
I don't remember exactly what part it was. It was on the Monday stream. I think it was like about. I don't want to say where it was. I think right around one hour in, maybe.
I'll drop a link in chat if I can find it.
Either way, so Lance opened. Of course, we did a pack battle with just 2 packs each of Commander's Legends. And it was the Jeweled Lotus and no other rares. So basically I had a score of 0. All he had to get was 1 rare or 1 mythic worth 1 mana value. And he didn't. He pulled a land. And the way the tiebreakers work, because artifacts come before the land cycle, the tiebreaker is the lowest numbered card in the set. And wow, it was a comeback of all comebacks. I mean, the chances of winning that had to be minuscule. And you would know better than anybody. I think of all the people watching this, everybody wants to open packs. And Lance, how many packs do you think you've opened so far in the last year or so?
Actually, since I've started doing the live streams, I have opened a little over 9,000 packs now.
So, Wow. In what, the last 10 months?
So the live stream started like in March, and they didn't really start picking up till May or June. Like anybody starting something, it didn't really pick up immediately. Like people weren't jumping to buy cards off this random stranger that nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah.
But it ended up growing, and it's been a wild ride, that's for sure. But the coolest thing, I mean, the pack battle part was cool, but the cool thing to me was that was the first time I'd ever opened one of those black discard cards. It was in the Jeweled Lotus pack.
I never knew that existed.
I've opened like 9,000 packs, and one of my viewers is a former WotC employee, and he said that those discard cards, they end the mark of a palette of cards. So you think of like how many cases are on a palette. It marks the end of a palette, and then on top of that, they're supposed to be discarded. So they're not super valuable just because they're like in every set, and they obviously have no playability. But it's a black card that says discard on the front, and on the back it's a magic back. So it's a pretty cool thing. It's the first one I've seen in like 9,000 packs. So
yeah, I mean, incredible. Yeah, I mean the math on that 9,000 packs. That's got to be almost 250 boxes of cards, you know, going between your collector type packs and then your full booster box. You've probably gone through a solid pallet yourself, maybe more at this point.
Yeah, I haven't kept up on the boxes just because, you know, they're 12, 24, 30, 36, depending on what you're opening, how many packs are in a box. But the packs are the easy part. I can just count how many packs I've opened up. So,
and that's
a
one of the
dream
things we wanted to talk about for a little while as well. If you had an opportunity, you know, if you felt comfortable with it, that's really interesting the way that you're going about on your channel, your ability to have LGS prices for people to see live opened up. I think that's a great new avenue. I've never quite seen somebody else doing it like you are. You know, I've personally paid Rudy behind the scenes to open up a draft box. That's kind of a thing he puts out to his patrons, but to host your own website and to be able to hook people up like that, it's a very interesting avenue. I like what you're doing there. And looking down here on the bottom left, you can see one of these beautiful discards that Matt pulled up for us here.
unfortunately, ours was not
This
a
one's
foil.
foil.
The foil ones
the
go
foil
for like
ones are
$300.
Yeah.
The one we pulled, depending on where you sell it, anywhere from like $10 to $40, depending on if you get the right person or not.
DK's got a good one there. Cothern, your power level's over 9,000. Ah!
It is now.
Pack level.
You know, that's kind of an interesting thing that you get to open all those packs, which a lot of content creators are vying behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to make it all work out, and with the hopes that, you know, they can eventually get YouTube to pay off with the viewership. And at some point, if you have some numbers to share with us, because we're not quite as big as you are. You're approaching what, 2,000 subs?
Yeah, I think so. I'm at 1,700 something. I can never keep track exactly, but I'm on my way up now. Like when I was in the beginning, I was like, "Ooh, I got a new sub today." I'm at 24 now, but now that it's like 1,700 something, it's more like, well, I'm getting closer to 2,000, but it's not always a fast journey. It's a slow, steady climb. But as you were mentioning, like the LGS prices and all that stuff, like I don't have any deals with distributors or anything. I mean, I buy boxes on the internet like you guys do. I make a little bit of money, not a lot of money, but I spend a lot of time. Like I stream anywhere from, 6 to 8 hours a week, and then I sort cards, and then I pack cards, and then I drive to the post office and mail the cards. So I mean, when you look at the hourly rate I'm getting from this, it's probably equivalent to working at McDonald's or less. But it's fun and I enjoy doing it. So that's why I do it.
And it's also in your extra time, it's peripheral. Yeah. You've probably got a regular 9 to 5, and then to be able to go and get some extra action on the side and then have all the positivity as well. You can make a lot of money slinging crack on the corner, but you're at least hooking up people with nice cards.
Right. And so my thought process behind it was, I want to give people an incentive to get packs through me. So basically I try to keep them cheaper than Walmart, because a lot of people go and they just buy packs at Walmart, Target, all that stuff. I'd rather people have a chance to open it with a community of people that hang out every Monday and Thursday, and kind of everybody's cheering for everybody. And if you get a bad pack, everybody commiserates with you. And I mean, it's a lot of people will say, I like to open packs, but sometimes when I open them by myself at home, it feels just like so lonely, and I don't have anybody to like share when I get a good hit. So that's kind of why they enjoy coming to the streams and doing it there. But it's really a lot of fun. But the other thing people don't realize, I know Bob wanted me to talk about this, was I'm not getting rich on YouTube by any means. So most of my content is shorts, which really isn't monetizable. But I looked it up, and I don't know StreamYard well enough to bring it up, but I have all my stats up on my screen here. And since I got monetized back in, I don't know, September or October, I've made $177 from YouTube ads,
wow.
Super Chats, and memberships. And like, I'd say 40 to 50 of that was Super Chats. And the thing with Super Chats that a lot of people don't know is like YouTube keeps 30% of what a person sends. So like the 40 to 50 bucks that I have, that's like my 70%. But YouTube keeps basically a third of it. So you don't even necessarily get all of that. Now, still, it's great because otherwise people wouldn't have a way to like say something on stream and, you know, feel like they're part of the action and whatnot. But it's definitely not something you're going to get rich doing. Now, my problem is I don't have a lot of those longer videos, and that's where the ad revenue really comes. So if you have a longer video that blows up, you could really start making some money, but you're not going to, even if you have a great box opening with a couple thousand views, it's not going to pay for the box by any stretch of the imagination. So
you're doing it because of, I remember when I first started watching you, you were actually sorting cards. I think was the first video I sat down and watched.
No, I totally
Watch it.
like when I started, like I
stream,
wanted
sorry.
to sell packs, but like for probably the first couple months, I just go sorting through what I opened on shorts and like adding to my binder, like the cards that I didn't have yet. And because I wanted to fill some air, I've read the cards and talked about whether they were good and limited or constructed or whatever. I didn't play Commander at the time. And I mean, let's be honest, commons in Core 21, you're not really talking about much anything other than limited there. But it's evolved. It's not an overnight success type thing. Like I spent probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 streams before anybody even bought anything, you know, and it's just consistently being there. And that's one thing I always like to tell people is like Mondays and Thursdays, unless there's something crazy going on, like me moving my parents across the country, I'm going to be streaming every Monday and Thursday, 8:30 Eastern time. You don't have to worry if I'm going to show up or not. And if I'm not going to be there, either the power's out, something happened, or I told you about it ahead of time. So, but like I also have, I also have like a Discord to communicate these things with the people who frequently come. They hang out in Discord and chat, and I could be like, hey guys, something came up, can't make it. I've only had that happen like once or twice. But at least they know. They don't, they're not waiting for some entertainment and then not have it show up.
Well, and you certainly have a great energy in your show, and you can only really experience that if you go check out a show. Seriously, I highly recommend, if you haven't done it, get out there on a Monday or a Thursday and check out his show. There's definitely a vibe, electricity, whatever you want to call it, unique to his show. And I think that bodes well for success. And I wish you continued success on that. And I will certainly continue to stop by when I'm able.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I was able to get you open up some Strixhaven collectors there. And I was just hoping to get myself another Japanese demonic tutor. And really, you know, you've got a great selection of stuff there as well. I've been down to my LGS more than a few times, and they don't have any double masters that I can get opened right there. So it's great that, you know, for the dollar shipping, I can get that not only memorialized on YouTube, you know, something I can go back and share my tasty pulls with other friends, but you get those cards sent right out to you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and definitely appreciate everybody stopping by. And if anybody ever has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to answer them for you.
The only question I have at the moment is, now that I'm stuck with elves in this Commander season, I know you ran an elf deck last season, so I'll definitely want some of your input offline here.
Sounds good.
Stuck with elves. This guy, what the hell? He got one of the best
Oh no, I don't know
Commander
whoever got
horrible.
Whoever got Liesa. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but elf tribal, you're gonna do fine.
I'm doing Skewed Swarm in there.
Oh, yeah, just a fun aside. I was playing my Kaikar deck the other day, and I've got it pretty tuned up, and, you know, some extra battle phases, Voltron and everything. I had a friend who had 16 Skewed Swarms on deck, and he doesn't know why I flew over the top and killed him first. I just had to say it. I hope he's watching. Matt, you know this is about you. Not you, Matt, the other Matt.
The other Matt. I actually just made a Skewed Swarm deck on Arena. It's doing really well, actually. I made a red, green.
I mean, you throw in a migratory Great Horn and a little bit of life gain. I've got a screenshot from when I was playing about a year ago. I stopped playing Arena, but it was constantly breaking the servers. I was well over 700 health with a couple hundred Skewed Swarm. It gets very ridiculous. It's super fun. Judges would just stop the game. And speaking of things that people should just stop, I'm thinking that the Innistrad double feature is probably one of those things. I'm seeing here an incredible amount of loss in value on that set. Now I'm going to pull up off a TCG player here the 155.98 plus shipping. You can get yourself a double feature draft booster. And this is down almost $100, I believe, from when they first started showing this product. You're getting yourself 24 packs. You can get 2 rares or mythics and some foils, but you are guaranteed every pack disappointment.
It's almost priced correctly now.
Almost.
Yes.
It needs to drop
Because-
another $60 and then I might buy a box.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, you could get a draft box of Midnight Hunt and a draft box of Crimson Vow for like $180, and you get 72 rares or mythics.
And they'd be in color too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get what they're doing with double feature. They're catering to a small audience. There's not a lot of supply out there, but I just feel bad they stuck their WPN stores with this. Like, this is not a reward. This is like, how do I move this product?
Actually, I think you have a better chance of getting more rares and mythics from a draft booster of each, right? Because you also have the foil slot open for each pack, right? You only have one foil slot per pack in the double feature. Plus, there's only 24 packs versus 36 packs. It's just, ugh.
I'm just wondering.
The big guys are starting to talk about it now, and it's like, I'm like, you guys are a little late on this one. Thankfully, we got Kamigawa right around the corner, except for the Japanese set boosters in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. A certain production line of them was having some sort of an issue, which it seems the general release is still going to be better than the Unfinity release whenever that occurs. But just having some Japanese, I believe it was Japanese set boosters for the European Union release. So it, I don't think will be a major impact on the Kamigawa release. I think we'll still see cards getting in hand not very long from now, probably about 2 weeks. It looks like we'll start seeing some actual things.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I've actually been looking at 2 cards out of the air quote spoiler stuff. There wasn't a whole lot that was really jumping out at me. I think probably the most interesting card to me is just one thing I'm going to slide into a sliver deck that I have, because slivers aren't nearly overpowered enough. So I thought that putting in this here secluded courtyard would be a great addition. Comes in, choose a creature type. It's not tapped, and then I can spend a mana of any color for one of those creatures. I think that would be a nice little add for me there. But besides that, I think a lot of cards are already getting covered that are just not very impactful to the game, not wonderful. So we try and keep this reasonably tight and tidy. No reason to waste everyone's time going over cards that are a waste of time.
I don't know. I think there's definitely some room for some good stuff in Kamigawa. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the legendary land cycle yet, but especially in Commander, it's like a basic land. Now, you can't fetch it, obviously, but it has channel ability, which is not cast. So it's difficult to counter. And
you're talking about the Boseiju? Yeah.
I'm talking about any of the there's going to be the legendary land cycle. I think Boseiju is the green one. But they're all going to do something. If you need a land, you play it as a land, and in Commander, it's not a problem because you can only have one of it anyway. And if you don't need a land, you have an ability that is playable at instant speed that's difficult to counter. So
yeah. But I mean, I believe they're going to be the chase cards in the set, though, too. The legendary lands, from what I understand, they're going to be fairly rare to come by.
Well, I mean,
so
they're printed in the
pricey.
rare slot, so they're not mythic, which is nice. And then, you always have like the Phyrexians. Those are always chase cards. There's Jin, however you say, Jitaxis.
Yeah, and then also we're getting those woodblock cards. So I think that we're seeing a lot of variety in this set. I had a conversation with one of my coworkers. He's part of my local play group, my pod, as it were. And we were talking about how in Strixhaven, it was reasonably confusing opening up packs of those cards because of all the different treatments and types of framing you get. I'm worried that we're going to go through that same thing with this upcoming set, Kamigawa, with the samurai frames, ninja frames, your alternate arts, your extended, your showcases. I think that they might be going a bit too heavy on variety, but at the same time, it's going to be great to see that those products will be in everything. We'll get in your draft box, you can get so many different types of cards. I don't even know if they need to have a set box around now, except for the list reprint slot. Now, would they be able to just get rid of that and slide those into our regular type products?
I think
I'll be honest, it's getting tough to organize. I've been trying to do Sunday streams, which I need to get back to, showing like what I'm doing for organization. But just like that demon with the pink neon ink on it, how many versions of that card are there going to be, and where do you slot that in when you're trying to sort your collection? And if we saw it with Soren, how many was like 7
They're all
Sorens?
numbered, Bob. They're all numbered.
Yes,
that's true.
Just get 100 9-pocket pages, and that'll be for your set.
And you have to do a Dewey Decimal System like you're in the library again. Make sure you collate, first printing and then alternate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and just look at you mentioned it with like Strixhaven, and I think that's where we started seeing all the craziness, and with the sketch versions of things, and the showcase, and the borderless, and extended, and variant, and special, and I mean, there are a dizzying array of different types of cards now that we're seeing. I don't know. I would like to see it kind of cut back, because look like the showcase, right? How many showcases besides Ikoria were a hit? Who liked which showcases outside of Ikoria?
Yeah. I'm on an eBay page right here and another page, and I'm probably going to buy a case of Ikoria if everything goes right by the end of the night, because it's got a bunch of valuable cards in it, and every single one looks great. I opened up at least 3 full cases of Zendikar Rising, and you could easily miss a showcase card because it's just not special. And if you do realize that it is a showcase, it's quite passable. I felt the same thing about Crimson Vow. This Fang frame thing that they did was, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, so there's 2 sides to the coin. Like, Magic is ginormous now. And you have so many different types of players out there. You have kitchen table players, you have commander players, you have competitive players, you have draft players. And the thing with all this is like, you don't have to get what you don't want. Now, yes, if you're opening booster packs, you have to understand what's in the booster pack, which can be difficult. And no, I don't think anybody really cares about the showcase commons and uncommons. But if you get rid of those and you just focus on the rares and the mythics, there are a ton of frames, but you can pick the one, especially if you're buying singles, just pick the one you want. Like, there's no reason to get confused. Just go on TCG Player, look at the different pictures and say, I want that one. And honestly, it's helping out the prices for people, because unless you want like the most desirable version, it's probably going to be cheaper, because there's this frame, that frame, this frame. Like, when I collect, I try to get a complete set, but my definition of a complete set is 1 through whatever the number is after the slash in the regular frame. And like, if I get borderless or extended art, then that's fine. If I like it and I like the art, I'll keep it, but I'm not going to try to collect all of them. So I think you just have to define what you want out of Magic and just put blinders on for everything else, because they, like we were talking about the release schedule. Like, if you don't like Infinity, skip it. If you don't like Double Masters 2022, skip it. If you love Kamigawa, double down on it. I think people need to realize Magic is no longer I must have everything. It's I must have what I want.
Yep.
So I think if you look at it that way, is it disappointing? Like, double feature's a big flop, but there's going to be like, I don't know, maybe 2% of the population that just loves it. And the print run's probably like equal to that 2%.
Yeah.
And so they'll buy it and they'll get what they want. And people who want just a couple cards can go buy singles, and they're probably not going to be that outrageous.
Lance,
that's part of what I was
friends. I agree.
Part
I think
of what I
the
was getting at
variant situation is fine. I think it. I love variant. I love full art. I love full bordered. Quite frankly, I don't think a border should be on any Magic card. I play games like Ashes of Create or Ashes. What is that? What is it? Phoenix Reborn or Ashes Reborn? That's the one. They don't have any borders on any of their cards, and the art on their cards are beautiful. And I play Flesh and Blood. They have a border, but it's less noticeable. And I just think that removing the border of a card or having a border on the card feels aged to me. I think that it's kind of grandfathered in. But
Well, I mean, it
that's
made
just my
sense
personal take.
based on the print technology in 1993 when they created Magic,
Right.
you know, but we're not there anymore.
Well, I guess part of what I'm saying is like when you look at things like the showcase, let's look at all the variants. They have to put extra effort into each of the variants, right? So that's taking resources when you're looking at it from like a company standpoint. And we know that they can print better foils, from what I understand, even in double feature, they're flat and they're good. They've printed good foil technology before. When we look at things like the sketches, nobody liked those. It's dropping the price down through the floor, and it's a feel bad when you kind of open one, and that's, you know, you get your Urza Saga sketch. I mean, it only feels so bad, but some of the sketches are quite less valuable than just the basic card itself, right? And if they could take some of that energy and resources, instead of making 15,000 variants and 9 different versions of alternate Sorin or the new demon, and they could invest some of that same energy or money into fixing some of the problems that they have, a la Japanese set boosters not making it on time, foils pringling, products being delayed, this and that we've seen through the last year. I think that they could take some of that energy and focus it where it's more needed, rather than, hey, let's just make 15 billion different variants that make it a nightmare for organizing a collection, and
if you're talking,
don't really bode well with the public.
If you're talking purely from a monetary perspective, I think they could get that done. But like, the thing with WotC being such a large company is, you know, they have all these different groups. Like the design group has nothing to do with any of that other. Now, like if you want to cut the design, like the actual like feel of the card, the look, design out, the what's the name for it? You know what I'm talking about. The people who template the cards and create the frames and all that stuff. They're different than the people playtesting the cards. Like they probably have no idea how to even, some of them may have no idea how to play Magic. And then like the COVID set booster delays, I mean, yeah, that sucks, but that's more talking about the printer, which is not owned by WotC. They just rent a space on that printer. And if Pokemon printing has some sort of error that sets back a delay, it's going to delay Magic. Like, I think there's just so much going on at such a big scale that some of that's unavoidable. But I agree, you could refocus some of the money that you spend on some of those things. But with how technology's increased, like throwing together a Fang border like that, like takes a day or two. And then you fill in with different colors for different colors. It's not like they're spending 2 or 3 months with 8 hours a day for 4 employees trying to design this frame, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, to Matt's point, it just as far as like a collation and design standpoint, it seems like it would just be easier just to have less border, you know, on like the full art Magic cards, where in the center portion of the artwork, when it slides all the way to the left and right and it goes way further down, it seems like it's probably less work to have borders on it. So
yeah, no, I think there's lots of opportunities for different things. I think the problem is everybody wants Magic to be their game.
There
are so many different people that view Magic in different ways that all want something different, if that makes sense. So Magic's trying to appeal to the kitchen table player who thinks that Fang frame's cool. And they want to appeal to the commander player with commander cards in the set slot now, which I'm not as big of a commander player, so I would rather it just be 2 rares from the set. But I get this commander rare that I don't care about in my set boosters now, you know?
Blasphemy.
But, I mean, so like there are 12 commander rares, and your second potential slot in a set booster is one of 12 cards that's going to be reprinted to like all get out. And you could have like a Sorin in there that's worth like $20, you know, or an overprinted commander card that you can go buy on TCG Player for $1 or $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're helping reduce the prices, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
is
there's
a-
lots of different, and that's the thing. Like, do you have a commander booster product and a, you know, do you start going that way? Who knows? But
Man, I'll be honest, that's one of the things, you know, we had in our outline for tonight's podcast, things that we'd like to see added and or deleted out of the release products. These theme boosters that they do, you know, go down to your local Walmart and or Target / you know, Bucky's, and you can get yourself a red only 35s cards, and you might get 2 rares for your $8.99. I wish they would scrap that whole product, get rid of all of that. And
Watsy decided to get rid of Pat.
You know what? They deleted him. He's like, you're trying to delete our product? They hit the red button.
So I mean, to this point, you know, there's a lot of fluff out there, and like I said, I'm a big believer in focusing on getting something done simple, right, the first time. Like if you look at Flesh and Blood, and they've been building on their successes, they've been taking what works and sort of expanding on that slowly. And what I mean by that is they can, you know, do what you do well first, right? Make that solid. With all the complexity that they're putting in the products and all the different complex products that they're putting out there, from commander decks at every set, theme boosters, commander black green, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Now I'm all into making available products for every different type of player that you're trying to appeal to, but do it well. And let's try to, I would like to see WotC try to focus on some of the things that are piss poor, to be quite honest with you, in what they're doing. They're really kind of bad. I think everybody has to admit this. That's sort of their public relations at the moment. They're not getting a lot of great press out there like they used to. And you're seeing people move to different games, and they're making the room. They're creating this vacuum for other games to step in. And I think it's, you know, kind of somewhat hazardous to the health of Magic.
I think there are some people that do that, but I think content creators as a whole get in this big community where they all talk about the same thing, go around in circles and circles and circles, and say everybody's leaving Magic. And like certain people might be leaving Magic, and it might be the old school players, but WotC's making more money than they ever have before. They have a huge player base. You know, they wouldn't make theme boosters if they didn't make money. Like if I'm a 13-year-old, right, and I get my $10 allowance or whatever allowance is, I have no clue.
Your gift card from grandma.
Right. And I want to go to Target, and I like playing Magic. I don't have a lot of cards. I really like playing Red. Would I want to get a draft booster where like maybe 4 cards are red if I'm lucky? Or would I want a theme booster where like I could potentially put every card of that in my deck? And I'm just playing kitchen table Magic. I'm not going to be spending $100 a month. Like there's different products for different people. And I mean, like a theme booster, you have like a person design the packaging, and then you put the same cards in it that are collated slightly differently. Like I don't see how that takes away from anything. Like Bob, what is your like ideal product lineup? Like if the new set came out, would you just want like draft boosters and commander decks, or like what would your ideal product lineup look like?
Well, that's more complicated than simply that. I mean, I think that we need to look and evolve with the times. If right now the vast majority of what's keeping Magic solvent and where the money's coming from, you appeal to the best part of your audience, the one that's giving you the most money, not secondary market value, but who's buying what products. Clearly, Commander is a juggernaut. Everybody that talks about it, Rudy included, talks about that. And I think it does need to have a ginormous focus for Commander. Does that mean they should put out Commander decks for every set? No. As a matter of fact, the most fun way that I've had playing it, and everybody seems to enjoy it that I know that's played it, is the Commander draft. I would like to see that usurp the 3 standard sets per year. Standard is basically relegated to Arena at this point. I don't understand why you would have 3/4 of the sets that you release be focused on standard or even half at this point when 90% of your players, whether it be kitchen table, whatever you want to call it, I think Commander's almost always kitchen table at this point, put out more Commander draft products. So it's unfortunate that Commander Legends 1 came out during the pandemic. It would have been such a revolutionary change, I think, in the game.
When was that released?
Had it come out at a different time.
What was the release date on that, Commander Legends?
It was November 20th, 2020.
Okay. Because they're coming out with Baldur's Gate this summer or spring.
Second quarter is what they said.
Yeah.
Right. So we're looking at like every 18 months you get a Commander set now. Because let's be honest, number 1 did really well.
Yeah.
Unless Baldur's Gate flops, you know they're already working on Commander Legends 3.
But we have 3 to 4 standard sets coming out.
Right.
Right. For whom?
Well, these are
our
cards
local
that
LGSs don't hold standard anything anymore. You have pre-release and that's it.
So I guess, and this is me not knowing all the formats, you know, I think they're hoping Pioneer will pick up. It hasn't yet, obviously, because everything with COVID, it was probably starting to take off and then COVID hit. And then there are not a ton, but there are a few cards in standard sets that make it to modern, right?
But modern, I mean, and the VP just talked about modern is still kind of small. I watch Nikachu. I don't know if you guys watch him, and we have no affiliation, but highly recommend it. Very entertaining and intelligent guy. Yeah. It's fun to watch. But I mean, what I'm saying is focus your money, like any good streamlined company, where your biggest bang for your buck is, right? And right now, Commander is the juggernaut. I mean, we can all, call a pig an elephant, but that doesn't make it so. And you have one product in their history for drafting Commander, right? Unless you do some wonky Winchester super duper triple flippy style draft, come up with your own homebrew. They need to kind of focus on that, to where you're not having to do that. I think that they should do more of that. They should put it on Arena. If you're putting all that money into Arena, for 2 skips of a stone's sake, please put Commander on it. Mush together MTGO and Arena. Put your efforts where they give you the most return.
I wonder if that's one of the reasons why WotC is still stuck in the idea of a certain release schedule of products where, they're still hoping to have the standard format. It's always a rotation we can't give up on it. If we do, then Magic is known for giving up on products that we, have done for years. And then on top of it, just as far as a company, they need quarterly. Every 3 months, they've got to put out a chart that says we are making money, we're turning profit. And if they take off a healthy time, 2 months. I mean, I don't understand why between Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, there was like a friggin' month. I think we had spoiler season for an entire season because they were just constantly pumping out products. I believe that's why Neon Dynasty is getting so much hype, is that it's been almost 2 months since something came out. Now, since they've been doing that for so long, it would be difficult for them almost to stop doing it. They've got that consistency of we're putting out stuff.
But you have to admit, standard sets have changed. They're not what they used to be. They're higher powered in general. Now, like, we took a break for a year after the year of banning, right? But there are straight up Commander cards, not like the Commander labeled cards, but they're Commander specific cards in standard sets now.
Yeah, Meat Hook. Yeah, stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, and it feels like an ostrich. It's a bird, but it can't fly. It's like this weird off product that, like Strixhaven, talk about a wounded duck. Wow, what a weird thing that thing is. You can have cards that aren't in standard, but you can play them in a draft, but you can't play them in standard. I mean, what a confusing.
True.
It was confusing
when you look at it for what it was.
It made draft fun, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you can make draft fun, and that's what I'm saying. I guess I'm doing a very poor job at sort of expressing it. I'm not trying to bash WotC. Don't get me wrong. It's like they have this golden opportunity. Let me put it in terms of like just in the smallest microcosm of double feature. We all know that it sucks the golden goose's butt.
I can hear the passion. I love this.
So, they could have done things to make it fun, right? Things that they just missed out on. They could have done a much better job of curation. They could have given us the what do you call it? The movie poster art that they put in the secret layers. They could have done so much more with it, but it felt like, oh, we're just going to scrape the bottom of the barrel, squeeze as much, out of this rag that we can get out of it because we've already made all this stuff. We'll just grayscale it, put a couple of colored borders around it, and look at it. The public's responding. There's so much that they can do. And if I was smart enough, Lance, to answer your question, what would I see as the ideal lineup? I would like to see at least 2 Commander draft sets per year, personally. Get rid of the Commander precons for every single set that comes out and just have, like they did before, where you have really good Commander sets once a year, the 4-pack, and get rid of them for every single set. It's like this sort of strap-on with duct tape thing that you're putting on the product, that just it doesn't feel like it belongs. And like you so aptly noticed, that there are Commander design cards in non-Commander sets, and it feels odd. Okay, well, I guess I'll open this box of standard cards to maybe get the 1 or 2 Commander cards that I can only get in this draft set. It's very weird.
I was just having a thought there. In collector's packs, if you go ahead, you take out that Commander slot that they put in collector's packs, you replace that with a list card, not this BS 1 out of 4. You actually always get a list card. You can just get rid of the art card in set boosters, because who gives a shit about art cards? Unless it's an accident.
I just
saw Matt's connection is getting kind of bad. I think he's having. So you could just get rid of a set booster product, juice up the collector's product by getting that Commander slot out, and then you use that Commander slot as a semi-annual product. Every 5-6 months, you get something really juicy. Maybe it's a single product, like this double feature. If that was done in a Commander theme instead of this crud black and white reprinting of 2 shit sets jammed together, that would be, to me, far more entertaining, worthwhile of products.
But
less is more.
You have to admit, WotC is super smart. They're like, how can we test how much money people are willing to spend on stuff we already make? We already do secret layers. This will cost us next to nothing. We already have all the art commissioned. All we have to do is get some produced at a much smaller amount, put a little premium on it, charge more. We'll have higher margins on it, and we'll see how much we sell. Worst case, we lose out a little bit of money. Best case, we find out we could do this more often.
Well, but you can only do that for so long. People will feel that they're being taken advantage of, and they'll just lose interest. The average lifespan of a Magic player, I believe Rudy quoted this, and I don't really know myself, but I know from personal experience, I drift in and out of Magic, and I think most of us do over time, is about 2 years. Right? That's how long you keep the attention span of most people. Like, how many of us here have been playing more consistently?
I guess I'm just confused
for more than 2 years.
I guess I'm just confused with your position, because I feel like you feel like every release needs to be for you.
No,
like I get that, but I'm saying, like, I see people on my Discord buying double feature. I'm not offering it because it doesn't make financial sense for me. I see people excited to open it up, and they're showing me like what they pulled. And so, like, for that customer, they kept that customer.
I've also had buddies that say, look at this fat chick I've been dating. So it's kind of like, they're having fun with double feature, but it's like a scooter. I don't want people to see me on it.
Yeah. Well, and to this point, Lance, I mean, granted, we all have a very, very limited, and I can't remember who was talking about it. I think it was Simply Better Magic was saying, like, when we talk about the public or whatever it is, I can't remember who it was. And that's such a overgeneralized thing when we say that I'm talking about the people that I'm in contact with. You're talking about the people that you're in contact with.
Right.
And you're talking about such a small portion. So we have to look at the metadata from a purely financial aspect and looking at it. And when it releases and drops to the bottom immediately, like a stone that just sank, clearly the public is saying, nah, not interested.
To argue with that, though, like Zendikar Rising collector boxes dropped to like the 160s, 150s. They're like 270 now. Nuts. Strixhaven collectors dropped, I think, to like 165, 160. I can't find them cheaper than like 220, 240 now. So sometimes
to argue with that, when you have a hit like Commander Legends collectors, when they came out, they were 220, and then they were 300, and then they were 350, and now they're 400 or 500. So when you have something that's immediately a hit, it doesn't have to drop first and then get caught up because people have FOMO. Oh shit, I'm going to miss out on something later down the road. All products over time, Fallen Empires and Chronicles, the shittiest things that they put out are eventually going to go up. Sure. But what I'm getting at is that, some of these things that they put out, if anybody says, the double feature is a hit, I mean, I think that's a very narrow and small opinion from the public at large. And I'm not trying to push people to buy or not buy a specific product. I actually don't even have a specific product that I want to buy.
Right.
I just look and I see the trends of things and what I hear people saying and doing. And I think it's terrible that a lot of people will go out and whether we say it here or not, people are going to leverage themselves on credit cards, hoping that the product's going to go up. That's a huge part of the market. It really is.
I think Moxman has a really good standpoint on it. You got to shop smart. You got to shop smart, man. There's I didn't like the idea or themes. I guess that's a better way to put it. I didn't like the themes behind Midnight Hunt or Crimson Vow. I don't care for vampires or werewolves. Halloween's spooky, but that doesn't really do anything for me. So I just didn't get into it. And that's, I love that other people did. They painted their fingernails black and orange and they went out and had blood tokens and vampires and had a wonderful time. But some products, like Lance is saying, not every release has to be for me, which is kind of difficult because of the idea of you want to get everything as it's coming out. I want to open up those packs, but I want there to be good cards in them.
Yeah.
And if it's not for me, it's not for me. And it was all standard, it was stuff that I wasn't really going to be using much of. And like Strixhaven, I don't mind opening up that. I'm a huge Commander player. That's my format. So it doesn't matter what type of framing the card has. I can use any of it.
I think for me personally, the thing that kind of killed double features, and I think maybe that's why there's a sour take on it for really a lot of people, is because when they first announced it, it sounded amazing. It sounded really, really cool. It sounded like they were going to make this awesome product. And then when they revealed what it was, it kind of, in my opinion, was below expectations. Just photoshopping everything to be black and white and doing literally no special art. I don't care how many rares there are per pack. I think that for me personally, I expected at bare minimum, and this could be because we're getting so many variants, but I expected some variants that are brand new, exclusive to the product. It's just black and white cards, and I don't mind how they look. I actually think some of the cards are pretty cool looking. I'll probably buy singles of it, but it bugs me that, and maybe this is why there's so many sour takes on it, is that it's boring.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, in that there is a disconnect between like all the different people that speak on behalf of WotC in the product they actually put out. I mean, I can count like probably 10 plus major errors they've made since I've come back, like saying that the fancy Kaldheim die, they're going to have a smaller version in the pre-release kits, or the Midnight Hunt lands and Crimson Vow lands, they're going to have this special gloss border, and when they're foil, they're going to have this really shiny like pinstripe border. And then I email WotC after I get the packs, and they're like, oh, well, there are print variations from region to region, but this stuff showed up on wizards.magic.com or whatever their official website is. Like, when you have somebody saying you're going to have this curated draft set with horror film type cards, like movie poster type cards, bringing back to like the silver screen, you don't say that and then say, oh, just kidding, we grayscaled the whole set, and by the way, curated means we took the lands out of the set. I mean, it's like you got to have both sides talking to each other and know what you're promoting, and that's probably where they are failing a little bit. I feel like they're getting better because I've seen they're being more careful on like the stuff they release now, but it just comes down to managing expectations. Like, you can hype all you want, but if you hype and then you don't deliver, that's when you start losing people.
Uh-oh, we just lost
We
Pat.
lost Pat again.
We
Yeah, lost
overhyped.
him.
We overhyped.
You overhyped
Pat.
Pat. No, I agree with you, and my apologies if anybody feels like I want WotC to release only what I want, because they're going to make stuff that I don't even know that I want yet. Right? I'm excited about, quite frankly. Ooh, I wonder who's in charge now.
He's
I'm
back
really
in charge.
excited for the double whammy Masters. As a matter of fact, I don't know if any of you guys caught Rudy's rant today.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's already hyping double masters. He was talking about it's been 18 months since double masters came out, and he was saying that the $100 packs are undervalued, and that
That's probably true.
I don't know what to expect. I've put out in the tinfoil hat and said things like, "Whoa, can you imagine if they put out a double masters collector box? Like, what do you think the price point of that joker would be? Especially if they had $100 packs in it, only 6 packs per box, and it's $750. They're going to come up with new things. So I don't want them to necessarily stop, but I do want them to stop some of the things. Like when I was talking about the showcase, and the reason that I pick on the showcase specifically is if you look at almost all the showcase variants in every set, they're less valuable than the basics.
Okay,
the basic card version is more expensive than the showcase version of it.
So here's
right?
something that I think a lot of Magic
It's not
players
working.
get
Stop
wrong.
it.
Something that a lot of Magic players get wrong. Magic is not an investment. Yes, you can invest in certain Magic cards and potentially make money, but Magic is meant to be a game. WotC produces it from a game standpoint. Do they know that some cards will be more valuable than others? Yes, it's just part of how it works. Sports cards, people know that some will be more valuable than others, but like when you go open a booster pack, I don't think I'm shocking anybody, but the chances of you opening more than the pack cost you is not anywhere near 100%.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
You'd
it's
probably
not
be lucky
supposed
if
to
it was
be.
50%, right?
Yeah,
And
arbitrage isn't supposed to exist.
Amen. I've said that many times, Lance.
When we're talking about like value of showcase cards, I don't feel like it ever should be about value. It's like, what does it bring to the game? Does it bring you into that environment? And if you like that, then that's great. If you don't like it, they have the standard frame. Now, like if they only printed showcase frames or something, then, that'd be a little different, I guess. I don't know. But I think so many people, they want to invest in Magic. They want to be the next Rudy. Like Magic is not meant to be an investment. Like, can you make money? Yes. But you have to be in a financially stable position. You can't be like, I got to wait for my next paycheck to come in before I can buy that next box that I'm going to keep sealed for the next 5 years. Like you need to get an emergency fund before you start investing in sealed Magic. Like you got to be able to pay the bills if you lose your job tomorrow, like you don't know what's going to happen. And once you get to that point and like you've actually started investing in real investments in assets, like if you want to invest a small portion of your portfolio in alternative assets, great, but they're highly volatile and it's risky. I mean, could you retire? Yes. Could they also become worthless? It's more likely that they're going to become worthless than you're going to become a billionaire off of Medizu, So it's like so many people, like so much there's so much discussion around Magic on YouTube. It's like financial. And it's like, if that's the main reason you're playing Magic, you're in it for the wrong reason.
I can't use the cards because they'd be damaged. I could never shuffle my deck because now it's worth $10 less. That's not the type of player I am. That's ridiculous to think because it says it right there in the the game. It's a trading card game. Game is supposed to be first. They're play pieces. But I think that some of the guys here in the comment section have got a good point. Some of the cards are worth monetary value. They're worth less. Now, on that same standpoint, my buddy's able to get an Esper Sentinel for under $20. That's his limit on buying singles. A regular one was running him $23. He could never play it. But now he has that ability to put in his deck. Sure, it's not as cool looking. I think it looks kind of janky. Like somebody literally sketched it. That's the whole point. But it's also a play piece, which is that opposite change where it's, he's got something that he can turn sideways. It has an effect on the battlefield. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's a game piece.
Well, and then
So-
the same thing with the showcase. Like there are some that are worth less, but then you go look at like the foil Fang Soren and the foil Fang Olivia, and you look
The
at
Ikoria Triumphs in the full
the
art.
full art triumphs.
That
Like
stuff.
there's some that are good and some that are bad. Like I counted up the other day. I keep a lot of the bulk that people don't want me to ship to them, right? So you have these showcase.
Like, do you just like build it all up and make a table out of all your commons? I assume that you have literally kilograms of cards.
I have lots of commons, but these.
That should be the comment of the night.
He's just looking at like a stack that goes up to the ceiling. I've got a lot of commons.
He's gluing them all together and making like logs out of it.
So like I said, Bird Admirer, let's see how many I have. Completely worthless common, only potentially playable in draft. So these show up in the collector packs. They have like 2 showcase slots that are like regular showcase cards in them, or at least one. The set packs had a couple showcase slots. So I probably have like 4 rows of Midnight Hunt commons and uncommons. One of those is foil. I just went through the 3 non-foil rows, and I have 84 showcase Bird Admirers. So what am I ever going to do with those? Nothing. But like,
have you tried burning
Build
stuff?
a birdhouse?
I'm a huge fan of burning things.
But then like you go to you look at the showcase frame Arlen, and that thing's worth like double because it's harder to pull. Like they put these showcase frames in the super common ones to give the set a feel, but like the good cards in those showcase frames, they often go for more. So
the Tox roll doesn't. I know, because that's the one Tox roll I pulled. But at any point, what I was saying and what I'm using it for is not necessarily like we've kind of gone around a large circle here. But I look at I look at the numbers, I track the numbers on like the showcase things for not necessarily just a financial reason, but it's one of the very few ways that we have as a public to look and see what is the public saying about a product, right? It is a way to track the trend because WotC doesn't put out, hey, do you like this art? They don't have any kind of poll on their site where it says, do you like this art versus this art? Do you like this versus that? What would you like to see? They don't give us any other vote other than buying and paying for things, and what they cost in the secondary market is the only way for us to know how to track those kind of things, to say, hey, the public doesn't like it, whether I like it or don't. And, you can look for things and say, hey, there's some value in these because I love this card and I can get it for $10 cheaper because it's in showcase. Great. Cool for you. I'm saying I don't think it's a great indicator. And if I was watching it at WotC saying, hey, these aren't working, if you don't think they're looking at secondary value, and to say that I agree, you should not. And we've beaten this drum till it's dead, that you should only spend money on Magic that you would spend going to a casino. That's it. That has got to come out of that pool of money, right? Not your money that you need to pay rent, not money you need to buy food, not money you need for investing or to have money in the future. It is a game. You're absolutely correct. But to ignore the fact that there is financial value, well, that's just putting your head in the sand. I mean, there is financial value in the game, clearly. People buy it because there is financial value. You would lose a large part of the audience if the cards were utterly worthless. A lot of people would just become disinterested in Magic. It makes it more exciting that there is potential value. So they do need to kind of keep some sort of balancing act with that. And they do need to pay attention to what they're doing that is successful, either turning the audience on or turning it off.
I just had an interesting thought. I'm trying to think back, and I've only been playing Magic in paper format for the past year or so, to the point where I've actually kept an eye on the market, maybe a little bit longer. But I'm thinking about all the releases that came out and the ones that dive when they come out, as far as like, double feature started at MSRP of 200 or 210 or whatever it was, and now it's down to 150. Did Modern Horizons 2 do that?
Nope.
I think
there was like a pre-hype, like secondary market, people selling packs way more expensive, but no.
There was
it's gone down to maybe like $10.
Yeah.
There was hype. Collector boosters cost more when it first came out, and then they went
only
down.
before it even released. Like
even
right at release,
slightly after release.
That still matters in the thought. I'm wondering if the market as a whole has been disrupted from Modern Horizons 2, being a product being so good that everything else that comes out after that just doesn't sell well for the LGSs and the WPNs and
Oh,
the
totally.
secondary market.
Well,
So
Cauldron
now,
and Strixhaven didn't sell well either.
now
Yeah,
they
when you make
expect
one product special, the lesser, way less special.
Tell us what
Yeah,
you
now they
think
just
about
gotta be-
Magic.
Yeah, right.
Magic.wizards.com/vow survey. Sorry, it's not focused, but
oh, it's working on it. It's
They,
thinking. It might. Nope. It's just
well,
not.
the green screen's trying to take it out.
Ah,
This is
gotcha.
on the back of the gift bundle. So they do.
Oh, tiny.
I was trying to think. I was like, I've seen it on one of these products somewhere. They had a survey where you go and you answer questions about the product. Now, how many people do that? Only the people that are really happy or really mad. But it exists.
How many times
Well,
do you
I
fill
think-
out the Burger King survey?
Yeah, exactly. Do I
think
get a
so,
free
Mark.
booster pack?
The point that I was trying to make was that I think using the current market as a gauge of how well the product is doing is flawed in that aspect because it's never going to live up to Modern Horizons 2. So at the moment, the market's disrupted, and I don't think that it is a good indication of how well a product is doing.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
if you look even in
that was
Modern
my
Horizons 2, look at the sketch values versus the non-sketch values, even inside the Wonder product.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
There's
that has
data
analytics
that you can
see.
follow. If you're doing the analytics and trying to follow it, and you really pay attention, even within Modern Horizons 2 itself, so that's isolated in its own bubble, the sketch versions of cards are compared to the non-sketch,
So-
not even the
So
special
that's
super
a
duper.
separate source of analytics.
Additionally, even so let's
fine.
use Modern Horizons 2. Look at the foil etched versions of the fetch lands. They're worth less than the non-foil etched ones.
That's
So
not
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying
saying.
that you can use some of these micro analytics and get that feedback and try to do something better. Okay, what didn't they like about it? And I would like to see WotC do something about that. Take those analytics and approach the public and make it feel like, hey,
well, I can
we're paying
guarantee you
attention.
They're not going to do sketch cards again. I mean, like they learned from their mistakes.
Well, they're going to do the damn
You say that.
D&D stupid rule book.
I was going to say the
showcase
D&D card looked
in-
pretty trash.
Well,
It's
they
And
looked
guess
difficult,
at
what?
though.
some
Guess
people
what? They're
that-
doing it again, and they're doing it in Commander Legends 2, Baldur's Gate.
but they're
But
not
that
doing
means,
that to go after Magic
2
players.
years
They're
ago
doing
they
that to go
thought
after
the
D&D
AFR
players.
cards would look good, and a year ago they thought these would look good again. So
I'm a huge D&D player, and I hated them. I did not. Well, okay, so hold on. Let's clarify what I'm talking about.
Well, go look at Den of the Bugbear if we're talking about Bob's pricing thing and see how much a regular
No, that's
one
not.
is.
That's not what we're talking about.
No,
I'm talking.
we're not.
All right. No, go look
Yeah.
at Bugbear then. Go look at the whatever. I don't even know which the Mimic. Well, that was actually one of the better looking ones. I'm talking
so
about. The
are we
rulebook
talking
card.
about the like?
I'm not talking about the
I'm not
gold
talking about
bordered
special
cards.
variants. I'm talking about the rulebook variant showcase ones. That's what's
Okay,
coming in
those
Commander
ones,
Legends
okay.
2.
I thought you were
Okay,
talking
he's
about
talking
like
about
the
something
module
different.
lands.
And I guess where my
No.
beef is it feels like somebody like at a lot of major corporations just like I love it, let's do it because I like it, rather than like, hey, let's look at the audience and what is the audience like?
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong set. I'm thinking about the cards that had like the
No,
cards
I
that
know
came
what you're
not
talking
those,
about
not
now.
the Tarrasque. That one I like those. I'm talking
I
about
hate
the
those.
ones that were like
The lands.
like a sticky note like posted on like them making the cards like they're not finished. They're just like
Module?
random.
You're talking about the module lands.
No. I'm talking about. I don't even know what set it is. It literally was
you're
like
talking
a
about the
kid drew like
mystery
crayons.
boosters.
Oh, you're talking about the mystery boosters,
Those are
the
just
convention
special
edition
cards.
mystery boosters. with
Yeah,
the-
yeah. Those can never
These
appear
ones.
ever again. He's got them right on there. I opened up
Yeah.
one of the. Wait,
Surprise,
did I open-
surprise.
with a low price
not
of
gonna find a more knowledgeable guy
$15.99
about
plus
Magic than
shipping
Lance.
on Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah, the playtest
Lance
cards.
is super knowledgeable. So it just as a disclaimer, listen to him, not Bob. He's much less tinfoil hat than I am.
I think everybody has good input here.
No, I mean everybody has their own opinion, and that's what makes Magic great. It's like, everybody likes something different. And if everybody went to the table as an elf deck or a control deck, or I don't even know all the
If they
meta decks or
homogenize
whatever.
everything, yeah, I
Right.
agree with
It would be boring. Like nobody would play Magic, so everybody would be like, I counter your counter spell. No, I'm countering your counter spell. It's countering that counter spell. Like it would be awful.
Oh, you're talking about an episode of Kingdoms TV.
But
Oh,
I love those.
You know,
guys.
like,
No offense,
everybody
Kingdoms
talks
TV,
about-
they're great. but it was like so far down the stack. I was like, I don't understand, and I got lost 5 minutes ago.
But you know, like I think some people hate set boosters. They've been by far the most popular thing I've sold on my website. They're affordable, unlike
I'm one of
collector's
those.
boosters.
Yeah.
And you have potential to get more than one rare in a pack for like 75 cents more per pack. I mean, that's what people are looking for. Now, you know, if you're looking for commons and uncommons, get a draft booster. But
Well, I think they're different products for different reasons.
no,
You're not
they
gonna
are.
draft
And that's
it.
the thing. Like different people like different. I'm a pack cracking stream. I'm not like your LGS. Like people want to see good hits, you know. So you're going to buy collectors and set packs because you have better chances of getting good hits. But like one of the things they had to do, you know, like delaying Infinity and not saying when it's going to come out, you know, first off, it's kind of funny because it was supposed to come out on April 1st, which is kind of a joke in
April
itself.
Fools.
And so like now they might see, you know, they won't secretly drop it because they want to make money, and there's no way they'd make money doing that. But when
What
they
do you mean by that? What do you mean
So,
by
like,
they'll
if-
secretly drop it?
So like they say, okay, it's delayed, and then on April 1st go, April Fools, here's the product.
Oh, that would be
It's in stores
awesome. I
everywhere.
would love that. So I would write them an I heart you message, Watsy.
Yeah.
I
if
mean,
they
that
did
that would be very on theme for the set, but as a
That
publicly
would be
traded
amazing.
company, that would be like the biggest faux pas ever because nobody has the money saved up to buy these boxes now. But
that also, like, if they did it like that, if nobody had the money to buy the boxes, in a way that would, well, I was just having a line of thought and I'm kind of rethinking it. I was going to go ahead and say if people didn't have that cash pile to sit on when they know it's coming out in 2 months and now I can get these boxes, they save up a whole bunch and drive the market wild because they're buying stuff on release. Now, if people aren't able to do that, then maybe it would stay stable. Second thought on that is people who have that cash sitting around all the time anyways. You know, you've got an LGS type person, you know, someone who's got, you know, $2-3 grand to sit around, throw at a product whenever they can. Those people are going to run the market. It's like when PS5s came out. Yeah, some people had money, but some people had way more and bought all of them.
But like, what do you think that does for like Infinity being delayed? You know, last year we had, I forget which set it was, but there was a set that was delayed by like 1 or 2 weeks. This one is a little more.
I don't know
of a
about
big deal.
I don't know about sets, but like the biggest delays I'm aware of was the Strixhaven draft boosters were not available at release.
No, there was a whole set that was delayed a whole week. I think it was Midnight Hunt.
Oh, who cares?
It was D&D or Midnight Hunt. But so they're not hitting the schedule, but they have more products that they still need to come out. So like we're talking about a absolutely packed like Q2, Q3. You have Streets of New Capenna, Double Masters. Later this year, you have Jumpstart 2022. You have new Dominaria Reunited, and what was the Brothers War? And now you're throwing Unfit. Right, but I'm saying like you have this whole release schedule for the rest of the year, and then you're going to like throw Infinity in the middle of it. You're setting it up to fail more than it already was.
Yeah,
well, we don't even know yet about the Warhammer 40K or the Street Fighter or any of the secret layers, you know. So that's another thing I think they need to chill out on. Like, I love secret layers, but 50 of them a year and $600 like super lumped secret layers.
It's nice at least that this year they're going to have 12 really shitty secret layers, all themed around basic lands. So, you know, it's not, they're not cutting back, but at least we know this is a great example of why you don't have to buy every product, because I don't need a Capricorn Swamp. God, that's dumb to say.
Well, and it's funny because like they can print as many as they want, and they said that they can print it more than once. So I guarantee you at the end of the cycle, they're going to be like the super bundle. Get 25 of all 12 for $1,200.
Yeah, it's actually, it's smart, specifically with this product, with the secret layers in the print to order product, because they're not going to print 5,000 pallets of these shit lands no one wants. When, you know, the next couple of months go by and they realize nobody's buying these, phew, good thing we didn't print a bunch, guys.
Yeah,
Well, interesting enough on that particular case, because didn't they say that they're going to make them available like all year?
yeah.
Yeah.
They said
So
they'll
it's
print
like they're
multiple
doing
waves of
something
them.
weird with that, which makes me feel like they're shifting to a more direct to consumer model. I think that will stretch beyond just secret layers, which
think
that
this
could
is
be
just a
interesting. And I
test.
actually don't have a problem with it. Just giving all my money, instead of giving a cut to a lot of places. I don't know what to do about LGSs. I don't know how to save them, so to speak.
I have a problem with this.
But going directly to WotC? Why? I'd rather give it to them than Papa Bezos.
No. I think these lands they're trying to, I don't know anything about astrology, so I think they're coming out when this sign is currently in. So I think this is kind of like a test to see how they can do it. I don't think they're moving to they do this on every layer. There's no way, because then secret layer would essentially be dead. Like, people would not invest in them because I could go just buy more whenever I want to.
It wouldn't be so
what I'm getting
secret.
is
It would just be a layer.
I think they're trying to lead down the path of getting a more, cut out all the middlemen, direct to consumer, more products. I'm not going to say necessarily every draft set, or that would be a nightmare for them. But I feel like something is in the breeze there with that tinfoil hat Bob there.
Well, I mean, it's like double feature. They're testing to see what they can do and what they can get away with. Sure. I mean, they're a publicly traded corporate entity whose purpose exists to serve their shareholders, which essentially means make as much money as possible without driving the product into the ground. And they keep making more money every quarter, and may not be in the same segment every time, but financially, Arena's doing great. Financially, secret layers are doing great, and a lot of people would say that's probably been an uptick as a percentage of their revenue. But they wouldn't keep putting out all these specialty products unless there was a Magic player to buy them. Like, how much does it cost to print this one card printed on Demand a couple times a year? Like, by the time you factor in all the costs and divide it by the total number of cards printed, it's like, I don't know, $1 plus shipping, and they sell it for 5 or 10 or 25. I mean, why are you not going to do that? As long it's like a swamp. Now, if you go and you do that from, Innistrad Midnight Hunt just came out, and we have a Meat Hook Massacre that you can buy this way. Like, they're not going to do that because it's going to cannibalize their own sales. But
so you have a unique perspective. You open a crap ton of cards. What would you like to see as the ideal lineup and frequency, the cadence and product lines?
I'm open to see what they have. I'm willing to test stuff out. I didn't buy double feature because I asked people if they were interested in it at the price point that it costs, and they said no. And I even recently did it, and I said, hey, how many packs could I sell if I bought a box? And I got to 4. And I can sell out a box of double masters in a couple hours,
Not even.
So
I don't even think it was an hour on our stream.
Well, I pre-sold those beforehand. So there's stuff in Discord that you don't necessarily see. Like, my patrons get first dibs on new products and stuff. So you didn't really see that side of things because honestly, a lot of the times I have that type of stuff pre-sold. But so Midnight Hunt came out, and then Crimson Vow came out. By the time Crimson Vow came out, people that bought packs were done buying packs of it. They're like, I have what I need. Let's move on to the next thing where I want what I want to get. But then after Vow, for the last month, I've been trying to figure out what am I going to go get that people want to open, because they've already opened everything from all the sets I have. Now, there might be some casual viewers or people that don't have as large of a Magic budget that are still going to open up a couple packs of Kaldheim every stream, or a couple packs of Strixhaven every stream because they really like that set. But it seems like every 2 months, people are ready for something new. They open however much they're going to open. A lot of people really front load and get a lot of it up front. And then they have some time to play with it and add it to their collections and their decks. And then they're just ready to move on to the next thing. So right now, waiting for Kamigawa to come out, it's been painful because I've had conversations with several people I want to buy packs from you, but I look in the store and it's not like I only have 2 sets. I have probably 8 sets in stock or something. And people I just don't know. I don't need anything right now. like I want to buy Magic packs, but I don't need anything right now. So like I've been getting Double Masters and Time Spiral Remastered and like these mystery boosters I got a deal on the other day, and I'm going to open those up on Monday. So it really seems like every 2 months is what people are wanting as far as getting tired of something and moving on. And even like if you talk to all the streamers that are drafting Crimson Vow, they were done with it probably a month ago, like 6 weeks in, because the format's figured out and they're bored and they want to do the next thing. Now, is that your average player? Probably not. But the average player can buy packs from that set for like 2 years with it still being in print and relatively being around MSRP. So what does it matter that, it's every 2 months a new set comes out? They're going to pick the ones they like and continue buying until it's out of print. So that's kind of my thought on it based on what I've seen from people buying packs, at least.
Yeah, I think I could be pretty happy with a specialty product every 2 months, a new set coming out every 3. It gives you a good variety of different sets coming out per year. It's not too much, in my opinion. And you can even, I don't know if I consider Secret Lairs a specialty product. I think Secret Lairs, I think they can do them as much as they want. I don't think those count. Those are specialty. You literally, it's print to order.
It's buy what you like.
Yeah, exactly. I've bought one. I've literally only ordered one ever. So I think they're great.
Certainly, they've moved to more a la carte. To your point, buy what you want. It's Magic has become a la carte rather than necessarily a pure collector's product.
There's a good point though. For Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, I only bought 1 box of each. That's it. I bought like 7 or 8 boxes of Strixhaven, and I opened all of them. So like, it's just weird. I don't dislike them. I don't.
It's hard because like some people aren't going to like some sets, so they're going to be bored even longer in between. And then you're going to have like some people that, they don't want Commander Legends 2, but they're going to eat up Double Masters 2022. And it's like you have so many sets coming out, and it's like, how do you space them out? Because I'm not sure the exact dates on any of this, but you're probably going to have like New Capenna, Double Masters 2022, and Infinity all coming out within like, I don't know, 8 to 10 weeks, maybe 12 weeks of each other, unless they really pushed Infinity back, which they haven't said anything when it's coming out. So you have different products aimed at different people, but like Double Masters 2022, I have a feeling, unless they completely botch it, it's just going to sell crazy well. And then like Modern Horizons 2, Modern Horizons that comes out every 18 to 24 months, so it's just like you fit that in, and now some years you have 4 standard sets.
Cool.
So
DK, you're on it.
It's fun. I think, it's tough because they give you a release schedule, but it doesn't really mean anything until it gets there. Like you don't feel it until you get there, like, because I've heard so many people say, oh, I'm really excited about the Brothers War, but I can guarantee you they're going to buy every set before then and not like save up and buy more Brothers War. There might be a couple people, but I think most people are just going to buy everything between here and there, and they're not going to like skip one and buy double of another one. Now, like Bob's probably going to skip most of the standard sets and buy like a truckload of Commander Legends 2 Baldur's Gate. And there are people like that, but I think like the average pack buyer.
Actually, I'm saving to double down on double bubble flippy whippy masters. And
it'll probably be a complete flop this time. But
well, we'll see. I approached AFR that way. I was so hype about AFR, because I am a D&D player, and I had pre-ordered. So shout out to Game Nerds. I had like $1,000 or $1,200 worth of product pre-ordered, and I canceled virtually all of it. And thank God that Modern Horizons 2, which I was like, oh, it's too expensive. I'm not paying that. I was, sticker shocked with that. And figures I bought. That's what I bought the most of outside of Commander Legends 2 last year, because I was looking. I'd saved up like $3,000 over a year prior to AFR because I was so hyped about it. And then we got there and I saw the spoilers and I was like, what do I do now? So I had excess money to throw into products that I liked, and I put heavily into Commander Legends 1 and Modern Horizons 2. So this year, I'm looking forward, like Kamigawa is interesting. We're going to do a review of that, and it's fine for a standard set. It doesn't have a lot that appeals to me outside of Commander cards personally. It doesn't look super collectible because when you get into those like super edgy variants of things, I don't know that they necessarily hold their value super well. So I'm looking forward to Unfinity just because I love unsets, and that's a personal thing. I don't know if it's going to have value or not, but I'm going to be there with it. I'm not going to buy a ton of it, but I'm going to buy probably 3-4 boxes at a minimum. I'm looking at Jumpstart 2 with an eye on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would like to start playing the products. We touched on this last week. The way that the products were designed, rather than just cracking for value or what.
It was an incredible experience.
To play the products.
Yeah. One of the things I'm looking forward to do, honestly, Bob, on that note, sorry to interject so quickly there, but
please.
I would love to have a 4-person game of Jumpstart 2 done the way intended.
Jumpstart's sick. I've played it. It's really good.
Right.
I will absolutely do that on Spell Table. If the 4 of us here want to play, just grab a couple of random packs of Jumpstart 2, jump on Spell Table and have at it. We don't even have to take setup time for it.
It'd be a great time. One of the big issues I have with my pod is that power creep is alive and well. And, we're putting Rhystic Studies, Esper Sentinels, Mana Echoes. We're starting to see forces come out. If we don't have a Soul Ring on turn 1, then we haven't mulliganed twice. It's real fun to play a power down set like that. I think it's a great revitalization of the entertainment, the game part of the trading card game, the base level of it. That's why women's basketball is so good. Their basics, their fundamentals are there.
Yeah, but I'm my big bet this year is going to be on double whammy masters. I mean, that's if you want to know what I'm curious what I'm buying, that's where I'm saving my money for. So yeah, I do. I'm one of those idiots that I'll skip a set. I bought very, very little Strixhaven. I don't even think I bought any boxes. I don't think I bought a single box. I bought 2 boxes of AFR. I bought 1 set box of Midnight Hunt and no boxes of Crimson Vow. So if you look at that drought, and the only case that I bought of Kaldheim was for an FU to Rudy for what he did with like just stopping product lines in that one April. Like, okay, we're going to stop this for. I was like, Lance, I talked to you about that in Discord in case you don't remember. I was like, fine, I'll buy 1 more case and then I quit as a patron. And that's why I bought the case of Kaldheim that I just cracked a week ago. I didn't even want it. I wanted Ikoria. That was supposed to be a case of Ikoria. So yes, I do try to budget it. And I have a decent, retirement fund, and my house gets paid. My bills are all paid, and I'm buying it out of the right pool of money. And I wish that I could do an episode that people would pay attention to with responsible spending in Magic. But I just think I'd be preaching to the choir. It'd be people like you, Lance, that tune in and go, "Yep, that's right. That's how you should spend."
Rudy does those videos. Somebody should go look and see how popular they are compared to the rest of them, because he talks about that stuff.
Yeah, but Rudy's Rudy, and I'm not Rudy. At any rate, so yeah, I think that is a wise way. And with all of us are basically saying here sort of the same thing, that you need to target your Magic products and be more a la carte, whether it's the variants and you're buying singles, whether it's one product versus another because it has more of the format that you're playing. And I certainly don't think that you should. I've said it 1,000 times on the round table. I don't think you've ever visited us there. And I say it. What Pat could probably even finish it for me. What's the surest way to lose money in Magic, Pat?
Open packs.
There you go. That's the surest.
I opened a Cavernous Souls in a booster pack one time.
Okay, and how many booster packs did you open that had no Cavernous Souls?
Yeah, but what about the other 8,999 packs?
Yeah.
I mean, I've opened some good stuff, but
Well, hey, I don't want to cut this too
it's
short,
entertainment.
Guys.
It's
entertainment. Try and keep this to a solid hour or so. We had a special guest on tonight, so I figured we'd go a little bit longer. I had a few things starred here from comments from people earlier. So if you guys want to talk about some of these things, I've got a few things before we get wrapping this up too quickly. One of the things that I saw DK put out earlier, saying that showcase cards might be a bit cheaper due to the change in the type of printing, it looks like, is the basis behind that comment there. What do you guys think about that? Is it that you're getting something different, a varied presentation? Is that why people aren't so attuned to that type of product? What do you think about that one, Lance? Do you think that because it's different, people dislike it?
I think it obviously, like Bob was saying, it depends on the showcase version. Like there are some that have done very well, like the old border fetch lands from Modern Horizons 2. Yes, that's not necessarily new, but like the Fang Soren, that's like the chase card, the full Fang Soren's like $150, or I don't know what it's at now. It's been going down, but and then they're the ones that don't do as well that people aren't accepting. It's the thing with showcase cards is they're to a subset audience, because there's the regular version and there's the showcase version. If somebody likes showcase, they're going to buy it, and how popular they are, like Bob said, is going to depend on the price that you pay compared to the regular version.
And Bob, I know you definitely had something more you wanted to say on that. It looks like you're trying to bite your lip, but go ahead, let it out, my man.
I'm sorry. I look at it like beer and Kool-Aid. I love both of those things, but I had to learn to like beer, right? It doesn't taste good right away if you're a kid, but Kool-Aid does. Kind of like the showcase arts. If you look at Throne of Eldraine, right? Those were widely viewed as awesome showcase arts. So I think that there is some sort of universal crossover that people just like appealing parts of art, like the full art cards, with no border, the borderless. People just love them. And like I haven't ever heard anybody say, "Oh God, I hate those full art triomes." That there are just some things that universally appeal, and some that are aimed at a small subset, like the mystical arts out of Strixhaven.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, like you're saying, the full art triomes, anytime I see an actual full art card where they're going top to bottom, left to right, I don't think I hear anybody disliking those cards. It's universal, though, that some, like the Zendikar Rising, are lackluster. There's nothing special coming from those. There's no, showed off some of those module showcase cards out of Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Pretty much across the board, meh to most people. And Matt, I know you had something to say on that. You've probably seen some great things from other trading card games as well. You're pretty varied with your interest. Do you think that some of those type cards that you see in other product lines, do those transfer over well into Magic as
I think that the format and the look of Ashes Reborn, the cards, they look fantastic. They actually probably, if I had to pick a card game that I've actually played, it's probably the best art of any card game I've ever played. They look beautiful. They're well done. The art looks good, and they don't use borders, but they fade the art out from the edges. So like you'll have it kind of like fade away from the center of the card, and it just looks good. Flesh and Blood, they could do more of it. Honestly, they're kind of reserved. It seems like their full art consists of like maybe removing the background of the box beneath where the text is for the card. But overall, I think that showcases are good. They just need to do them a bit better. Remove some of the janky stuff. It doesn't seem to be received well.
like having less poopy cards out of the list slot?
I don't mind the list at all. If the list slot was in, if it was in a meaningful slot, if it took place of an actual rare, or if it took place of an uncommon, even, I think then I would be like, okay, yeah. But it's literally a free card. There should be zero reserve. You shouldn't care that you're not losing anything. You're losing a token. Who gives a crap? To
It's
me
not
personally,
free
I think
anymore,
list
though.
cards
It's
are fine.
expected.
Exactly.
So
I think they're
list cards. 2 things you could do to fix list cards. If you're going to keep them 1 and 4, narrow down the giant list of so many crappy cards you have.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do that, if you want to print the same massive list every time, put 1 in every pack.
Yes.
One of the 2.
Okay, I could do that.
Yep.
It's just a feel bad when you get only 8, possibly 6 to 8 out of a box, and all of them are less than $1.
Right. That was my
Somebody
thought.
opens one and he gets $150 card. It's like,
retuning a collector's pack so that there's always a list card in a collector's pack. That's 12 out of a box right there. That's more than you'd be getting out of a set box. and you're guaranteed every time something there. And like you said, go ahead, take out some of those shit cards. Myth is on point there. There's I think 300 something cards in the list, and there's maybe 100 that are worthwhile. So go ahead, cut some of that chafe down.
Now, like some of them make sense. Like they put more vampires in with Vow, and they put more werewolves in with Crimson Vow, like night related things. Like the flavor's cool. As long as you're not expecting value.
Don't put list cards in that are still in print.
Now that one I can agree with. If it's in standard, it should not be on the list.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about, MTG Cards and Review had hit on before. I'm personally worried that much like in the Adventures in Forgotten Realms set, that we are going to get a disappointing crossover for Baldur's Gate. I think that it being a Commander Legends 2 is going to be a huge buffer to the quality of the product itself, but it's still worrisome. A little bit of anxiety inducing right there is that they've already said they're going to be coming back with those showcase cards that we showed off earlier from AFR. And I just don't know if that's going to be a great product. I think it's going to have a lot of really good cards in it. They said they would also do the foil etching that they did in the previous Commander Legends. That was a great hit to me. Phenomenal quality cards. Those ones always stayed very flat in compare to most foil cards. Like Sinborn said earlier in the chat there, you can see that Apex Predator jumping out of anywhere in his deck. But the crossover, I want to see done well. I don't know if it's going to be.
So like the showcase frames, like those were done by the time AFR had come out. Like that was just a timeline thing. They were designed. There's a chance they were already being formatted and potentially at the printers. Because like I get some of these boxes of current sets and they're printed like 6 months before the set comes out. Because you see the print.
And that was my point, Lance. That's my point. Why can't they do those rather than post, ex post facto? Hey, what did you think about this shitty thing we gave you? Why not put it out there? We live in an instant information world. Put out we do it all the time on Discord. Put out a questionnaire. Hey, pick the one of these that you like the most.
You go down a dangerous path there.
Okay.
Well, just because like
speak up, get their choice.
No, how's you go down the path of, well, I really like these three, but you didn't print them.
Well, and then they, you keep going. That's fine though. I mean, to know what's potentially out there, it adds a degree of hype. You don't know what you're going to get, and hey, I'm even to blow your mind, you could buy sets that are more customized to have the style that you like in them when they go direct to consumer, going way down the tinfoil hat Bob way that maybe they even have your name on the card.
Next question.
Well, that was actually the last one I had start from the comment section. So one of the things Matt suggested is that we take a little bit of time to go around the table and just give a little preview of what we're going to be doing on our channel over the next week. Hope to see you guys again next week. I know on my channel, I'm going to be doing some Kaldheim set booster openings. I also got some mail in from the Netherlands. Looks like it might be a magazine or some such from who is this? Savannah Lion. So I think that'll be pretty interesting there. Got a couple of mail day things to go over as well. I might have nabbed some treasure. Wink. Now, stay tuned. I have pretty sporadic. So if you're subscribed, make sure you hit that bell. That way you get my random videos when they do come out. Unlike Cothern Cards. Lance, what day is it that you do your streaming?
Mondays and Thursdays, 8:30.
Mondays and Thursdays.
Wow.
This dedication. And what do we get when we tune into your show on Monday and Thursday?
Well, unless you buy something, all you get is entertainment. But you can't
free entertainment by hitting the little bell below.
Yeah, of course. The entertainment this week will be cracking. Oops, sorry for the mic hit. Both of these on Monday.
Ooh, mystery
boosters.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
That just makes my OCD go like bonkers.
What, the mic?
I think we talked about it. No,
Or
no.
the 1,600 cards that
mis-
are in this box.
Oh God, how do you organize? Oh, where do you put? Oh, just
Hey, they all go in the person
no.
who bottoms box. They can deal with that, not me.
I like that.
Other than that, 2 shorts a day. Right now, I think I'm opening Modern Horizons 2, Strixhaven, D&D, Midnight Hunt, and Crimson Vow. Rotate through those. But Neon Dynasty should be here either most likely on February 21st will be the first stream I have those. If I get lucky, they'll be here on the 17th. And I'll be opening a pre-release box on the 11th if you guys want to check that out. So,
What times were they again on Mondays and Thursdays? You said 8:30 what?
8:30 Eastern time.
Eastern, okay. Oh, you're also Eastern. Nice.
Yeah, and that is why you never see me on the round table, because I'm a little busy. But I'm definitely glad that DJ does that. I hear they're a lot of fun. Wish I could stop by sometime, because I totally would if I wasn't busy. But I know MTG Gaming Bob goes on there all the time, or is it MTG Bob? I can never remember.
I don't know. I let
The
audience
name might
know.
be changing, so you can call him Bob for now.
Yeah. Well, I'll stay MTG Gaming Bob, but the channel name might be changing.
Gotcha.
No, we're trying to look at that because it's not fair to Matt. It's terrible. And unfortunately, it was a lack of foresight when I created the channel. So that's my fault. So that may be coming soon to our channel. But I would really just like to thank Lance so much for coming on. I want to share this with the audience because I think it's ironic. When I asked Lance to come on the show, he said, "Well, I don't know that I have a lot to say, but I would say that you have been a very spirited and lively guest. I am so thrilled that you are our first guest. I love the fact that you and I have differing opinions on a lot of different things."
What Bob said.
So I think that it's been absolutely an amazing experience for me having you here live on stream to share it with the audience. So Matt's probably going to be doing more with our channel. So
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I've actually got a couple cool videos coming up. I recently joined a I don't know, league. Is that what they're called? Leagues? I joined a league, and Jake and Joel are Magic's Discord. There's one of the members is kind of organizing everything. You probably know him, Bobby Z. He's in almost all the channels, it seems. Yeah, he set up a league for February, so we got our randomized commanders. Mine, this is from Commander Legends. Unfortunately, I got Rayav, but I tried to make it as good as I could. If you guys are interested in it's a real long video, but I do think there's education in it. It's like an hour and a half, maybe even almost close to 2 hours. It's a video where I basically build the deck from the ground up. I go through all the resources, everything I do to build the deck. So there's a real long video there that just dropped today. And then in a couple days, there will be a deck tech, which is like a shorter video where I go over every card and why I put it in there. And then I've got another video coming out, which I'm really excited for. It's proxies. This might be a controversial subject for some people, but I recently was turned on to a website that basically allows you to make proxies of cards, and they're physical playing cards. They don't print the backs of the Magic, but they'll print the front. You can pick all kinds of different arts and stuff. So I'm going to be, I've got a package coming Monday, I believe. So I'm going to try to get it out sometime next week. And it's just a bunch of proxies that you can, I basically built 4 commander decks for $100. And these are, plateaus, badlands, whatever the hell you want, like whatever card they'll print, but they will not print the back. So it'll be interesting to see what people think about proxy decks versus the actual real card when you're playing in a basement in somebody's house or a kitchen table. So
Just
that's what
triple
I got coming
sleeve
up.
it.
Why triple
Awesome.
sleeve?
Because then
And it
he'll
looks
be
like
able to tell it's
DJ's
fake.
going live over on his channel in an hour. So make sure if you're up still, if you're West Coast, go ahead, check out DJ over on Mr. DJ Longhair's channel. I want to say thank you very much to him for getting me together with a lot of these wonderful content creators. It is a great time over there on his roundtable, very lively. So, tune in there on Thursday nights. It's a fun time. We do stuff over here on Saturday specifically so that we don't try and take any of that audience, very considerate to our other content creators. So great to have you all here. It's been lovely. And hey, I'll see you again next Saturday. Take care.
Peace, everybody.